And then we get to the post-fight press conference, Tom, and Dana White is there, and his demeanor initially seemed to be one of someone who was upset, annoyed. And then he said the line that has been dissected, and you talked about it a little bit on your YouTube channel, where his take was Tom didn't want to continue. It didn't feel like he was defending you or the decision not to fight or the injury or even being critical of Cyril. It seemed like he was upset that the fight didn't continue because it was back and forth, and it seemed like he was actually rather complimentary of Cyril. When you heard his comments, how did you react?
Yeah, slightly disappointing, because
if there's a foul, like in my case, a double eye gouge, I should get a free foul back. These were Tom Aspinall's shocking words, a furious challenge that has rocked the MMA world. He wasn't joking when he suggested, "I'll doubly gouge you back and then we'll restart the fight." This wasn't a hypothetical. It was a raw, unfiltered response to what he believes was deliberate cheating, a direct assault on the sport's integrity. The heavyweight contender made it clear the current system is broken and he's ready for drastic measures. His unprecedented proposal ignited a firestorm, exposing deep frustration with a lack of real consequences for illegal moves. Aspinall's words were a declaration of war.
He hadn't spoke to me. He hadn't given any he was already giving updates on my health, and he had no idea what had gone on. Yeah, so disappointing, mate. Disappointing.
The notion of it being framed as Tom didn't want to continue, as opposed to he got poked in the eye, he couldn't see, he can't, that stuff, that phrase, the way that picture was painted.
This explosive suggestion came amidst Aspinall's harrowing recovery. Doctors are exploring double eye surgery, an agonizing prospect that includes a dreaded eyeball injection. With no clear timeline, he remains unable to train fully, stuck in a holding pattern of uncertainty. This serious injury has halted his career, preventing basic fight preparation. The physical toll is immense, but the mental anguish of waiting, of not knowing when he can return, is equally devastating. His future in the heavyweight division hangs in the balance, clouded by a medical reality far more complex than many fans realize. This isn't just a setback, it's a career-threatening ordeal.
It's after the fight, Jon Jones changed his profile picture, the duck with the eye patch. A few days later, Dirty Boxing, he's on a horse coming to the weigh-ins, a horse with an eye patch. This scene here, he's made some comments in the aftermath about, like, you know, your heart, your determination, you've looked for way outs. What do you make of the way Jon Jones has talked about you and acted towards you in the aftermath?
Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him. I thought this guy was the GOAT. Focus on yourself, bro. You retired. Just do your own thing. If you're so much better than everybody else, just go and enjoy yourself. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Adding fuel to Aspinall's fire was Dana White's public reaction. White's demeanor at the post-fight press conference seemed upset, annoyed, claiming Tom didn't want to continue. Aspinall felt utterly betrayed. White offered no defense for the injury, no criticism of his opponent, instead implying Aspinall quit. This narrative that he somehow chose not to fight stung deeply. For Aspinall, White's comments painted a false picture, showing a stark lack of understanding and support from the organization's top. It was a disheartening blow, amplifying his frustration and fueling his desire for accountability. The perceived slight from White was a major point of contention.
What I think should happen is, if there's a foul, like in my case, double eye gouge was what happened to me. So if you want the fight to carry on fairly, I get a free foul on him. So I'll double eye gouge him back, and then we restart the fight. I think that's fair.
I feel like that might be a tough one to pull off.
Well, so's continuing when you've got no eyesight.
The reality of Aspinall's recovery is far from a simple didn't want to continue. Double vision still plagues him. Quick changes of direction cause dizzying nightmares. Training is severely restricted. Light bodybuilding weights, gentle jogging, bike and low-intensity cardio are all he can manage. Intensive workouts are off limits, a stark contrast to a heavyweight contender's grueling regimen. This isn't a fighter taking a break, it's an athlete grappling with fundamental physical limitations that threaten his entire career. The daily struggle to simply stay active highlights the profound impact of his eye injury, a silent battle few truly understand.
For me, on the eye poke thing, you mentioned Jason Herzog in your last fight. Obviously, there's been an eye poke problem in the UFC for a while. It's not the UFC's fault, but more the commission's. What is the solution? You mentioned.
I think everybody needs to man up. Dana White, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the referees, and just make a fucking decision, man. If you guys can do it, like, dude, that's bullshit. If we're being warned in the back, and all right, then I'm gonna start taking my warning. I'm gonna start sticking in the eye too. I get a warning. Like that's not for everybody. Needs to fucking man up and step up, and create this and make this thing official. Dude, somebody could lose an eye. Bisping. I mean, how many other dude? These dudes are deformed for life, dude. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it sucks. The one that happened to me, but two, man, it's Betch Cohead. There's a lot of people that have eye issues that you guys don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So it starts here, and I think it needs to be immediate. And if not, man, I think people need to be held accountable for that stuff. If I also lose a fucking eye, dude, you imagine that? Like, oh yeah, oh good job, you're a warrior. Oh, okay, well, who's gonna give me my eye back? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs to step up. Everybody, including Dana White.
What truly disappointed Aspinall about White's statements was the revelation that Dana had been giving updates on my health without ever even speaking to him. White had no idea what had gone off, yet publicly commented on Aspinall's condition. This gross oversight felt like profound disrespect. A public figure speaking on a severe medical situation with zero first-hand knowledge. The lack of direct communication from the UFC president, especially given Aspinall's status as a top contender, was a shocking betrayal. It highlighted a significant disconnect between the organization and its athletes during moments of crisis.
It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you, because I know there's a lot of haters out there. Of course, this is professional sport at the highest level. We have haters. But when the eye poke happened, obviously, eye pokes happen all the time in MMA, unfortunately. And got the eye poke. Obviously, everything went on from there. Went to the hospital, returned home. Didn't even check my phone or nothing for a while. And then I realized people genuinely think that I faked this. People actually think that I was faking it. And then I was like, did people actually see the replay of what happened? Because that was a full-on eye poke.
Beyond Dana White, John Jones also became a target of Aspinall's ire. Jones, considered the GOAT by many, mocked Aspinall's injury by changing his profile picture to a duck with an eye patch, and even riding a horse with an eye patch to weigh in. Jones went further, questioning Aspinall's heart and suggesting he looked for way outs. This public taunting from a fellow fighter felt like a low blow, intensifying scrutiny on Aspinall's already challenging situation. The juvenile antics added insult to injury, showcasing a surprising lack of empathy from a supposed legend of the sport, leaving Aspinall bewildered.
So then I was like, what is going on? Why are people thinking I'm faking this, after everything that I've been through to get there? So then I left it quite a while. I thought, right, I'm going to get all the doctor's notes included. I've been through it for loads and loads of tests for weeks. I've literally been in the hospital 2 or 3 times a week getting different tests. Then I come up with a doctor's report, and then people are like, oh, he's fucking crying about it. He's doing a media tour on it. He's milking it. And I'm like, bro, if you don't believe the eye poke and you don't believe the doctor's reports, what are we doing? What's going on here? I didn't make this up. Go watch the replay, check out the doctor's reports. Look, man, I'm in the point where, you just cannot please these guys. These guys are fucking losers, man. These guys are just crazy haters who have got nothing good going on in their life, obviously. I still got a lot of fans. I wanted to keep my fans updated with what's going on, and I appreciate everybody that's stuck by me.
Aspinall fired back at Jones with a stinging retort. Good for him, man. Good for him, he stated sarcastically, telling Jones to focus on yourself, bro. In Aspinall's view, Jones is retired and should just do your own thing. If you're so much better than everybody else has gotten, enjoy yourself. But what about what I'm doing? This cutting dismissal exposed Aspinall's belief that Jones, the so-called GOAT, was acting beneath his status, more concerned with another man's injury than his own legacy. It was a sharp, unvarnished response underscoring deep resentment towards Jones's perceived hypocrisy.
What about this intentional, unintentional stuff? Because
I can see sometimes how it can be unintentional, but if you stood at range, like when it happened to me, he was stood at kicking range. If we're talking, like, I personally think that Rogan is one of the most technical strikers to ever fight in the heavyweight division. I personally genuinely believe that. If he's one of the most technical fighters in the heavyweight division, why has he not learned to punch with his hand closed at kicking range? Like, it doesn't make any sense how that can be unintentional. I wouldn't mind giving him a double eye poke and then we'll carry on.
So do you think it's part of his game plan to do this? But if you say he's a dirty fighter, he's a cheater, then it would suggest that he tries to do this in order to gain an advantage, right?
Well, he cheats in near enough every fight. I ain't seen the Rogan fight that he's not cheated in yet.
Do you have any concern about fighting him again?
Maybe I'll be doing the fouls next time. Who knows?
The proposed equal foul rule change wasn't just a fleeting thought, it was a deeply held conviction rooted in personal experience. Aspinall asserted that if he received a doubly gouge, he should be allowed to doubly gouge his opponent back, then restart the fight. I feel like that might be a tough one to pull off, he conceded, but quickly countered, well, so is continuing when you've got no eyesight. This radical idea highlighted the desperation for fairness, a stark commentary on the inadequacy of current foul penalties. His logic, though extreme, underscored the immediate impact of illegal moves versus mild warnings.
Look, when I watched the fight back, that's when I really got the gist of what's going on. The guy was trying to poke my eyes out all the way through that round. Multiple exchanges. Nearly every exchange that I could put him in danger, he had his fingers out pointing towards my eyes. The guy was cheating from the first second, and the way that he wanted to win that fight was to have me compromised by cheating. My thoughts on him, I think he's a big cheater. Look at all his fights, even John Jones himself, even the GOAT himself said before he fought him that Rogan's a cheater and uses dirty tactics.
It surprises me a little bit, the face of the UK fight scene, all that stuff. It surprises me that you have no kind of relationship with him.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. That's the way it is.
Has he sent you a text or DM in the aftermath? Hope you're feeling better.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. He actually, like I said, he started giving updates that there was nothing wrong with my eye when that isn't the case. So I've done a lot for the UFC. So yeah, disappointing.
Do you feel let down?
I have been in contact with the UFC, so it's not like Dana isn't the whole promotion. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have a close relationship with Dana anyway.
Do you feel like they've taken care of you, the organization?
Not really.
Is that frustrating?
Disappointing, mate.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
The potential consequences of unpunished eye pokes weigh heavily on Aspinall. Somebody could lose an eye, he emphasized, detailing the lasting issues for life. He acknowledged that while his own recent injury sucks, there are a lot of people that have eye issues that you guys don't even know about. This deeply personal insight transformed the conversation from a mere rule dispute into a dire warning about athlete safety and long-term well-being. He scoffed at the idea of fighting through a severe illegal foul for being a warrior, asking, "Who's gonna give you my eye back?" It was a powerful plea for immediate significant change to protect fighters.
Such a tough one because I really feel for him, and I don't think he definitely didn't quit. And he's definitely not like, you know, whatever. He's like, I don't think he's lying about his situation. But the more you put it out there and the people don't want to hear it, people don't care, right? This is what I know. Obviously my situation is quite different, but like I know when I've been injured, if I put a video out there like doing rehab work, saying what I'm planning to come back or something, people don't give a shit. They just hear, people just hear you whining. You say, oh, I'm hoping to fight soon, but I'm still injured. People don't like, most fans don't go like, hope you're okay, like, you know, see you soon. They'll be like, ah, fucking inactive bum, you know? So I think that's just the kind of the shit we're dealing with these days.
In the face of overwhelming criticism, Aspinall adamantly defended himself against those who claimed he faked the injury. People genuinely think that I faked this. He lamented, expressing shock at the disbelief despite the clear severity. He noted that many critics didn't even check my phone or nothing for a while, implying they hadn't seen replays or understood the extent of the damage. This deep frustration at baseless accusations fueled his resolve to counter misinformation. It wasn't just about his career, it was about defending his integrity and battling cynical undercurrents of online discourse, where truth often takes a backseat to sensationalism.
What could have been if Tom Aspinall goes out there and wins? What happens to his career after that? That's the Jon Jones potential fight at the White House. Like, there's so much that Tom missed out on because of that. It's super unfortunate, sad, and it would have made the heavyweight division it would have made it a lot more fun. I mean, the whole division's been so crazy with Jon Jones. You know, he defended an interim belt, Tom Aspinall. It's like, what do you? I mean, Jon Jones is done. Alex Pereira, he's probably not moving up to heavyweight. Like, you just rematch that fight. You know, the crowd was insanely loud, so it was like, I guess it was a big fight, but do you watch it again? Do you make that fight again? Jon doesn't want to fight Tom. Alex doesn't want to fight Tom. Ah, man, yeah, I don't even know what you do with that fight. I think Dana said he's gonna make a rematch.
The sheer volume of doubters compelled Aspinall to take extraordinary measures. He underwent loads and more tests for weeks, visiting the hospital 2 or 3 times a week to prepare a comprehensive doctor's report. Yet even with medical evidence, critics persisted, accusing him of and crying about it, doing a media tour, or milking it. His exasperation was palpable. If you don't believe the eye poke and you don't believe the doctor's report, like, what are we doing? He dismissed these persistent detractors as crazy haters who have got nothing good going on their life, reaffirming his commitment to his true fans who stuck by him.
I actually got punched in the eyeball against Andrei Arlovski, and during that fight I had double vision. I wasn't moving my feet around because it was making me dizzy, and I was adopting a stance that was kind of like this. I usually fight with my hands pretty loose. I was adopting a stance that's kind of like this so I could see him properly, and stood with my feet in the middle of the cage. So look, I fought through having one eye before, but when you get double eye gouged and it's against the rules and you can't see anything, like, if you're going to continue, that's just suicide, especially against a guy like Rogan. Like, if I can't see somebody because of an illegal move, look, if it's legal, everything's good. It's a punch, kick, knee, elbow. We got to carry on. We got to fight through it. But if it's both eyes and it's an illegal technique, I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not gonna carry on in a fight that I'm definitely not gonna win because somebody else is cheating and I can't see.
Aspinall further shut down claims he was looking for a way out, asserting he prepared for the toughest fight of my life against a very, very dangerous opponent in Cyril Gane. He clarified he wasn't trying for a quick knockout, but was pacing myself for 5 rounds. He dismissed the casual new hater MMA fan who sees one bit of blood and thinks this guy's losing a fight as wad. His nose, frequently broken, bleeds easily, a reality casual observers often misunderstand. He scoffed at the notion that a few jabs and low kicks would make him quit, challenging critics to truly understand the mindset of a top-tier fighter.
Meanwhile, the English fighter proposes a drastic rule change to discourage fouls in MMA, suggesting that if one fighter commits a foul, the other should be granted an equal foul in return. He even jokes that in this case, he would double eye gouge Cyril Gane back to make things fair.
The heavyweight champ found the idea of him quitting due to a bloody nose absurd. These people must think I'm literally unstoppable if they believe that just I've got a bloody nose, I'm losing a fight, he stated. He took a couple of jabs and a couple of low kicks and was still ready to fight. The suggestion that he was looking for a way out after such minimal damage was, to him, laughable. This underscores his deep-seated warrior mentality and the immense mental toughness required at the elite level, rejecting simplistic narratives of uneducated critics. He was ready for a war, not an escape. Beyond the immediate injury, Aspinall directly questioned Cyril Gane's fight habits, making it unequivocally clear, "I personally think that Cyril Gane is one of the most technical strikers to ever fight in every weight division." Yet, he immediately followed this praise with a damning question. If he's one of the most technical fighters, why has he not learned to punch with his hand closed at kicking range? For Aspinall, this was no accident. It pointed to a deliberate, unethical tactic. This observation elevated the eye poke from an unfortunate incident to a potential pattern of intentional foul play, casting a shadow over Gane's reputation. Aspinall remains confident that Cyril Gane fought with deliberate intent, insisting the eye poke was not accidental. After reviewing the fight footage, he claimed to see a clear pattern of Gane extending his fingers toward his eyes during dangerous exchanges. This wasn't a one-time mistake, but a repeated tactic meant to compromise him illegally. He even referenced John Jones, ironically, who himself said before he fought the Cyril Gane's cheater and uses dirty tactics. This damning evidence, coupled with a previous warning, solidified Aspinall's conviction that Gane is a big cheater, fundamentally undermining his opponent's integrity. The lack of support from the UFC during his recovery also surfaced. Aspinall revealed Dana White hasn't contacted him at all since the fight. He expressed deep disappointment after hearing public updates suggesting his eye was fine when those claims weren't true. Aspinall, the face of the UK fight scene, felt let down by the organization he had done a lot for, expecting better communication during a serious injury. While he acknowledged contact with other UFC staff, the absence of a personal touch from White highlighted a perceived neglect, leaving Aspinall feeling undervalued by the organization's impersonal approach. Bisping further encouraged Aspinall to confront Cyril Gane directly, not with medical reports but with unfiltered aggression. Sure, say Cyril Gane did it on purpose. Call him a positive because you're gonna set foot in the octagon and you're gonna fight the guy, Bisping advised. He suggested Aspinall should promise to absolutely marmalize you. I'm gonna make you pay for being the cheating bastard that you are. This confrontational approach, in Bisping's view, would demonstrate strength and confidence, a stark contrast to what he perceived as victimhood in sharing doctor's notes, aiming to project an image of dominance. Owen Ellen provided a nuanced perspective on Aspinall's public struggle, noting that he genuinely feels for Tom and doesn't believe he quit. However, Ellen cautioned that the more you put it out there and the people don't want to hear it, he explained that most fans don't care about context, quickly labeling injured fighters as inactive bums. This harsh reality reflects a shift in fan culture where sympathy is scarce and expectations are relentlessly high. Ellen, drawing from his own injury experiences, highlighted the unforgiving nature of the sports audience, suggesting that constant explanations often backfire. Sean O'Malley also expressed profound sympathy, believing the eye poke robbed him of a major opportunity. O'Malley pondered what could have been if Tom Aspinall goes out there and wins, imagining a John Jones potential fight at the White House. This injury, he argued, would have made the heavyweight division a lot more fun, creating much-needed excitement. He noted the division's current unpredictability, with Jones and Alex Pereira showing little interest in Aspinall, leaving more questions than answers about what comes next. O'Malley's view underscored the immense tangible loss Aspinall suffered, not just physically but in terms of career momentum. Aspinall drew a crucial distinction between his recent injury and past experiences. He recalled fighting through double vision against Andrei Arlovsky after being punched in the eyeball. During that fight, he wasn't moving my feet around because it was making me dizzy, but still pushed through, essentially with one functioning eye. In stark contrast, the Cyril Gane fight involved double eye gouge, leaving him unable to see at all. He stressed that continuing against a striker of Gane's caliber under such conditions would be suicide, especially when it was an illegal technique. This clarified his decision, emphasizing the critical difference. Tom Aspinall's saga isn't just about an eye injury, it's a stark expose of the complex, often unforgiving world of professional MMA, from alleged dirty tactics in the cage to a perceived lack of support from the sport's highest echelons, and the relentless scrutiny of a demanding fan base. His experience illuminates the immense pressures fighters face. His demands for accountability and rule changes aren't just for himself, but for the safety and integrity of all athletes. This story forces us to ask, at what cost does entertainment come, and who truly protects the warriors who step into the octagon? The answers, it seems, are far from clear, leaving a trail of controversy and profound questions about the future of combat sports.